By the end of September, the Johnson administration is expected to change plans for its internal market law. A disregard of the current Brexit treaty would have consequences, threatens the EU. The EU Commission continues to demand that the British government withdraw the controversial plans to amend the current Brexit agreement by the end of September. That has not changed, said Commission spokesman Eric Mamer when asked about the planned British internal market bill. The controversial law specifically concerns special rules for the British Northern Ireland, which are intended to prevent a hard border with the EU, state Ireland, and new hostilities in the region. The EU sees the law that Prime Minister Boris Johnson wants to enforce as a clear violation of the Brexit agreement. Even the British government has admitted that it would commit an international breach of law, but described it as only very specific and limited. Since many MPs in the lower house are also critical of the change in the law, Johnson has promised Parliament additional control over the application of the controversial clauses. Johnson agreed with his internal party critics that the planned measures should only be used in an extreme emergency. The government would have to conclusively explain such a case to Parliament and have it voted again. This seems to have averted the rebellion in the Conservative Tory faction. A majority of MPs recently voted in favour of the controversial law. Now the House of Lords has to agree. However, the EU's concerns have not been allayed. If Great Britain is not in compliance with the treaty, the EU does not want to conclude a new agreement. Should the British authorities violate the withdrawal agreement through the British Single Market Act or threaten to violate it, whether in its current form or otherwise, the European Parliament will under no circumstances ratify an agreement between the EU and the United Kingdom, is said in one explanation. And if the European Parliament doesn't agree to it, it's over. None of the other parliaments will have to vote then, because then it's over. And the British House of Commons began discussions on Monday on the draft of the controversial law that would unilaterally amend the Brexit deal signed with the EU in January. The new plans, which Johnson's government surprisingly announced a few days ago, would unilaterally undermine several key provisions in the Brexit Treaty on Northern Ireland. It concerns the suspension of custom regulations in the trade in goods for the British province and of requirements on state aid for British companies. According to Johnson's account, the EU threatens, among other things, to stop the flow of goods between Ireland and Northern Ireland by stopping imports of British goods. Johnson also accused the EU of jeopardizing the UK's territorial integrity. Therefore, his government is forced to act, and thus to the new law. A spokesman for EU negotiator Michel Barnier tweeted that the EU is not threatening to stop food deliveries from the UK to Northern Ireland. EU rules will also apply to these foods in the future. The UK has agreed to this. And just one word about this video that's floating around, where you don't either see Michel Barnier or you can't even hear his voice there, where he allegedly would have said all this crap Boris Johnson is claiming. That video is so fake, I rarely have seen a worse one like that. Everybody could have made a better one than that. The necessary EU recognition of British food standards will be granted once the UK has sufficiently explained its plans for future standards. Great Britain left the European Union at the end of January 2020. The UK government plans also weigh on ongoing negotiations on future relations and a trade deal between the EU and the UK. These would have to be concluded by mid-November at the very, very, very latest, so that an agreement would be in place by the end of the year, if Great Britain also leaves the internal market and the customs union as it is planned for that day. And just some words to my viewers. Because of all that happens in the comments, I just want to remind everybody again. Don't insult other viewers. I won't have this on my channel. Neither way, no rejoiner will insult a Brexiteer, no Brexiteer will insult rejoiners, and neither of them will insult neutral people. I don't care. Nobody will insult anybody else in the comments. YouTube will block it, I will delete it, it will never be shown. And the same goes, stop trying to promote other people's channels with links in my comments. All links are stopped by YouTube. I personally have to allow them through. And that goes for any Brexiteer channel you are trying in masses to promote on my channel. That won't happen. And it also goes for nonsense like the Express. So please behave, be kind to one another, have a civilized conversation in the comments. I will delete everything else. But if you still want to know more about European politics, YouTube has chosen another of my videos right here for you in the end screen, right next to your chance to subscribe to my channel. And please be civilized if you subscribe and take part in my channel and behave like a normal person, like you want to be treated. I'll see you in my next video. Click and enjoy. Viel Spaß!